who is the CEO and MD of Ashish Sen Consulting Coaching. Dr. Sen is a globally acclaimed facilitator, having been the head of corporate learning development, L&T, and head of capability building, HBCL. Dr. Sen brings over 35 years of practical experience. He's the founding member and chairman of Forum for Emotional Intelligence Learning, India. Dr. Sen is also the only member to represent India at the EI Consortium USA, founded by Dr. Daniel Goleman, and has been recognized by Dr. Goleman for his work on emotional intelligence in India. Dr. Sen is also certified on ESAP by EI Learning Systems USA, and is the leading subject matter expert in the area of emotional intelligence. He was also invited to Harvard University for helping build a case study on internal relations in organizations, which was published later. A very good morning, sir. Over to you.
Very good morning. Thank you for the kind introduction. It's always a pleasure to actually interact with people. And today what we are going to talk about is how can we be good parents? If you are there, I would request you, whoever is with us, to fill up a small poll, which you can see on the screen, I believe. Give your answers as you think fit. There are just 5 questions. The first question is, my children learn a lot by mimicking. Children learn a lot by mimicking parents. I spend quality time with my children. The third one is, I should spend more time with my child or children. The fourth one is, I'm able to identify my emotions. And you have choices here. I'm able to manage my emotions quite effectively. These are the 5 questions. So this poll will be available even later in the social media, and we would request you to fill it up. This would help us to understand what are the challenges you face in the real world. Again, a very warm welcome to each one of you. And I'm happy you could find time to join us today, because I believe the topic that we are going to talk about is extremely critical for parents. And at the end of the day, children are the future for us, for the world. Globally, I think we would be much better place to live in if our children do well and our children make an impact, positive impact on the society, on the community, on the globe as a whole. So you are lucky, fortunate to be bestowed with a responsibility which matters. As Amna was talking about, I had the good fortune to work with some of the best in the world on emotional intelligence. Also interact with several who are the who's who on emotional intelligence. For example, I was fortunate to meet Goleman a couple of times, more than a couple of times, have interactions. And my work was recognized by Goleman himself, which is a lot for me. And I feel indebted for that. Dr. Richard Boyce is one of the true greats in the field of emotional intelligence. Many others at the EI Consortium at Boston actually have been and continue to be my friends at EI Consortium, where I'm a member. And one of my books, which also talks about how emotional intelligence helped a company, one of the Fortune 500 companies, library listed in IIM Ahmedabad, is an amazing book on change management, is fueling success. The other is about coaching people. So that's a little about me. But today in this session, what are we going to do? We're going to have a few learning objectives. At the end of the session, I think you will be able to understand and, more importantly, explain the need of role modeling by the parent. Why should parents role model? What is it that makes it so important that they do things which their children can copy, and they can be proud that they copied good things and things that really matter? Second, We will also like to talk on the value of appreciation. We'll talk about the lists. You will be able to list the benefits of social emotional learning in children. And you will be able to explain the need of learning emotional intelligence competencies by parents. And by far, this is one of the very important topics, probably the most important topic today that we are dealing with. Because if parents do not learn emotional intelligence, their children cannot mimic and copy well. Whether you learn it or your children learn or your child learns it, both is important. Because today, if you learn it, you can be a good parent. And in the organization, business organizations, if you are handling jobs which have leadership roles, the chances are you will do a much better job, because 85% of the competencies that are required for managing people are emotional intelligence competencies, not mathematical abilities or technical skills. So that's something that's very, very interesting, that even as an executive, you need it. And if you are a good parent, of course, you will need it. And your child, if they learn it, they will become better managers tomorrow. They'll become better people tomorrow. So I will request Amna to read out this slide. Amna, would you like to read out this slide? So people who are emotionally and socially intelligent can understand and express themselves, to understand and relate well to others, and to successfully cope with the demands of daily life. So if you actually have emotional intelligence and social intelligence, you can understand yourself. You can identify your own emotions. You can relate to others better. You can understand others better. That is a whole lot. And if your children learn that, what are the benefits that accrue? A huge amount of research is very clear on this subject. If they learn social emotional intelligence competencies, your child will have better pro-social behavior, almost 9% more than those who have not been taught. They would improve their attitude towards self and others to, again, a significant 9%. Reduction in problem behaviors, like they're throwing tantrums, they're getting off the handle. All those kind of things will be reduced significantly. Importantly, stress is today having a major impact on children, especially after the COVID and during the COVID. So that takes significant reduction in terms of scores, where your child, if they learn SEL, they will have better handling of emotional distress capabilities. Also, as important is, they will be able to have far more improved, that is 11 percentile improvement in their academic scores. Now that's significant. 11 percentile improvement in their academic scores is something I think every parent would like, because when they improve their focus and they improve their learning capabilities because of emotional intelligence competencies, they record better scores at school. And 23% is huge increase in emotional and social skills, which will stand them in good stead today in the school, with their teachers, with their parents, with their friends, peers, and tomorrow when they're working or when they're grown up. So this, because we retain the social emotional skills for a very long period of time, what is taught in schools, this can be a game changer. Your child learning emotional intelligence competencies and social competencies is a game changer. Again, this is just another graph which shows that how those who have undergone this course actually show significant results, improvement in results on SEL skills, positive attitudes, handling problems, so on and so forth, compared to those who do not, or compared to the earlier scores. But the challenge is this: most of the parents and children today are lost in their own worlds. They don't have conversation like they used to. And conversation comes from two words, con and words, which is turning to each other. They are turning to mobiles, they're turning to computers, but they hardly turn to each other. They simply do not make the time available. And that is scary, because imagine a world where relationships are sacrificed on the altar of an iPad or a mobile. When I talk of iPad, I talk of it as an instrument or a screen where we spend a lot of time on. It could be any pad for that matter, any electronic pad. So we need to understand that we are killing relationships. We are destroying this beautiful world by simply secluding ourselves. And this does not decrease your stress. It can actually enhance it. So how do we change is something as parents, if you are going to watch your mobiles, do not think that your children will be left behind. They will ape you, mimic you. Spend some quality time with them. Also, research shows something very interesting. Children with low EI parents have difficulties. For example, if the parents do not have enough of emotional intelligence, the children will have problem because they themselves will not learn good emotional self-awareness. Identifying their emotions and managing them will be a challenge. Similarly, they will have challenge building the capability to manage their stress and resilience. This is well researched. So parents, if they do not have emotional intelligence in requisite capabilities, they pass on the negatives in a way to the children, and the children suffer in terms of building emotional self-awareness and adjust and find it more difficult to adjust to life or manage stressful situations. So it's very important that parents do not take it as something nice to do, but understand it's a non-negotiable to attend good parenting classes on emotional intelligence competencies. Research shows something very interesting. And the research shows that children learn from parents. Amna, are you able to unmute yourself? And can you read this slide?
Yes, sir. Children learn from parents, a research, recognizing, understanding, and regulating strong emotions, expressing feelings non-destructively, recognizing and understanding how others feel, building effective relationships, solving personal and interpersonal problems.
So what does this mean, Amna? If parents do not know how to do these things, will the child learn?
No.
So who is the most important, or what is the most important cog in the wheel where children can really bank on? What is that element in the ecosystem of the child which can help them to learn?
Parent. Children can do this through modeling, and they learn firstly from their parents.
Mhm.
So parents are the most important.
So again, this is, thank you. So this is heavily researched and shows that these capabilities cannot be learned well by children most of the time if their parents do not know it and cannot display it, right? So can I request Umama to read this, what is written on the slide?
A mirror neuron is a neuron that fires both when an animal or human acts and when the animal or human observes the same action performed by another.
This one?
What are mirror neurons? Mirror neurons are a crucial part in children learning emotion regulation and the norms of behaving. These neurons give children the capability of mirroring or copying their caregiver.
So what does it mean?
So it means that children tend to imitate their parents or the caregivers, and they learn from them through modeling, imitation.
Okay. So this is very interesting because if I see something and if I do something, the same neuron in my brain fires. That is, if somebody a person is eating ice cream or a child is eating ice cream, there are some neurons in the brain which will be probably showing happiness and things like that, which will fire. But if somebody else also is having an ice cream, the same neurons fire. That means doing and seeing have similar consequences on the brain. And that is why seeing can actually help me copy and mimic those behaviors. So parents, when they do something, for example, they teach the child how to brush or to comb their hair, the child learns it by just copying that. They also copy your bad and good behaviors. So if you are not a role model, the child would not learn those things early in life, how to be behaving well with others, how to be polite to others, how to be understanding to others, how to show empathy to others, how to build relationship with others. So you are the person in the ecosystem who has the maximum impact and is the prime mover for the child to learn well. In terms of emotional intelligence competencies, if they do not see you being able to do that, they would not be able to learn. So it's very important, as we said, that parents learn how to exhibit emotional intelligence competencies. In this course, we will focus on parenting techniques so that you can learn to be aware of your emotions. You can learn to manage your emotions. In the parenting classes, you will learn these things. You will understand how to understand other people's emotions, know other people's emotions, and also think and decide rationally. So you'll not let your emotions besiege you. You will not become a victim of your emotions. You will not do impulsive behaviors as a parent. On the other hand, you will have intentional behaviors, thought out, reasoned, rational behaviors displayed, which will help your child to learn and practice the same set and capabilities. So in an emotional seize, what happens is this part of the brain, the emotional brain as we call it, is in action. When this is in action, the thinking brain or the rational brain, which is at the fore part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, actually is inhibited, and it has an inverse working relationship with your emotional brain. So when the emotions are high, you cannot think with clarity. Try doing a math problem, a math problem which otherwise you can solve in a jiffy. When you are very angry or very sad, you will find it challenging. That is because your IQ is substantially impacted and your thinking capabilities are impacted adversely when you are in an emotional seize. Often biologists have called it the amygdala hijack. So this is your emotional seize. But the best part is the moment you can name that emotion, the scene of action, if you can name and identify that emotion, the scene of action changes and your thinking brain takes over, and you can actually take much more reasoned out, thought out decisions. So naming that emotion, being aware of that emotion, is a critical skill which is essential for your effective handling of a situation. Right now, if I ask you, what is the emotion you feel? Think about it and come with an answer. Chances are you will find it difficult because we have not been taught that from our childhood. You can probably reel off 3 into 3 is 9 or 12 into 12 is 144. But if I ask you your emotion, you may get stuck. So being unaware of your emotions, actually you remain victims of the emotion. Learn the vocabulary, teach the vocabulary of emotions to children and let them learn to name that emotion, which will make their decisions much more rational, because the moment you name your emotions, you'll be surprised to know that the intensity of the emotions in your emotional brain comes down significantly, as is seen in the functional magnetic resonance imaging of the brain. So you have the power, you have the authority, you need the skills to be able to identify your emotions and manage your emotions. As parents, this is something that you will learn, and we will teach you how to do that in the classes. We know that when you are in an emotional seize, you lose 10 to 15 IQ points from a good decent person from a decent engineer, you'll become mentally challenged, or from a decent parent, you will have probably C's, which can lead to unproductive behaviors and bad parenting. You don't want that to happen. So join the parenting class and learn these arts, right? Anybody, for example, before I go next, I think today Dr. Agasha has joined me. Can I request you to unmute, please?
Yes, sir.
You can start your video also, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you tell me one thing that you learned which can be useful to you in this session today?
जी, इसमें से काफी कुछ अभी सीखने को मिल रहे हैं. Can I speak in Hindi?
जरूर, हिंदी में बोलिए.
Yes, sir. तो एक्चुअली साइकोलॉजी भी MA है मेरा, और मैं बच्चों के साथ में बहुत सारे काम करती रहती हूँ. और जो अभी आपने बताए वो सचमुच में ये सभी चीजें हमको देखने को मिलती है. आज बच्चों को टीच करने से पहले हमको पेरेंट्स को टीच करना बहुत जरूरी है. बट थोड़ा कठिन है क्योंकि पेरेंट्स को ऐसा लगता है कि आई एम बेस्ट.
Thank you so much. That's a great answer, as I said. So that's wonderful, because I think you have given a good answer. I would request, if you, I really applaud your answer. Again, I don't know whether, I'm sure one of the things that parents must learn is also appreciate the child for good things that they do. Many times we have heard, let's not appreciate, because if you appreciate the child, probably the child will be vain or bigad jayega, in Hindi as they say. But the fact is that when you appreciate the child, there is a neurochemical called dopamine which gets released from the brain, and the child feels happy, and the brain becomes more plastic. That means it is ready to learn more easily. Therefore, behaviors which are appreciated are behaviors repeated. Can we learn to appreciate the child? We bog them down with a lot of expectations, but we rarely give them the amount of appreciation that they deserve for the efforts or the performances that they deliver. So these are some of the tips that if they come to this classroom on parenting, they will learn. And the best thing is that we can go on, but I think some of the things that I would like to tell you is our curriculum is based on the scientific template of social emotional learning from the US and Europe. And we have done a huge amount of work, research work, spanning over one year plus, where Mrs. Anuradha ji, who is a psychologist, Ms. Amna and Umama have worked extensively with me. And this curriculum is so, as you have seen glimpses of this, is based on huge amount of biological research, US research, European research, and also some Indian researchers, right? So this works, and the results are fabulous. As we talk, they can improve pro-social behaviors to skills to their academic performance. Very modestly priced. This curriculum is very modestly priced, and it is focusing on the people in the ecosystem which matter. One of the curriculum focuses on the parent and the child that parents and children are taught, and the other only on parents. So these are the two sets of curriculum that we have. I think that's it from me. We will request you to post on the YouTube that is live any questions that you have, so that we can get back to you. And with this, again, thank you for the opportunity, Amna. I would request Amna to please share a presentation on the curriculum.
Thank you so much, sir. Uh, so if you please could give me the screen sharing option.
Please try sharing.
Yes, I got it. Thank you. So I would please request Umama to start the presentation, please.
Thank you, Amna. Good morning, everyone. I am Umama Shoaib. I'm a research psychologist and content developer at Ashish Sen Consulting and Coaching. I have with me my colleague, Ms. Amna Ansari, who is also a research psychologist and content developer. We bring to you Emotion Shala, a social emotional learning curriculum with research-based modules and lessons that aims to help your child develop. Emotion Shala is an initiative by Ashish Sen Consulting and Coaching, and it is solely dedicated to the well-being of young children through social emotional learning. This curriculum caters to children of 3 to 8 years of age, and currently we are working for the age group 9 to 15 years. Through Emotion Shala, your child can feel and show empathy towards others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible choices. We can help create learning spaces where all young people feel connected, engaged, and ready for the future. So at the end of the session, the audience will be able to identify the structure and flow of the curriculum, list out the benefits of the curriculum, and recognize the researches behind the curriculum and the appreciation it has gained. Over to you, Amna.
Thank you, Mama. So we'll just tell you in very brief how we started this journey. So basically the curriculum is based on the framework and research from CASEL, the Collaborative for Academic, Social and Emotional Learning, which is the largest body in the world that is working on social emotional intelligence of children. We hatched the idea of Emotion Shala with just 4 people, which later became a team of more than 10 individuals hard at work. We as a team have been working on Emotion Shala for more than a year, making it completely evidence-based and well-suited for young children and their parents. The curriculum is in sync with large amount of research by Dr. Daniel Goleman, Dr. Paul Ekman, and Joseph Durluck, and many more. And to form a stronger base, we have also used psychological theories and research by famous researchers and psychologists, such as Jean Piaget, Lev Vygotsky, Erik Erikson, and B.F. Skinner. The 5 major competencies facilitated by Emotion Shala are self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. The curriculum is based on a holistic approach rather than a fragmented approach. It begins with self-awareness, which includes understanding oneself and our emotions and practicing values. This leads us to self-regulation, through which the child is guided and trained to manage and modify their emotions and thoughts. Once the child is able to identify his or her emotion, say anger, and is able to control or modify that anger, Emotion Shala then moves on to social awareness. Now, social awareness includes being empathetic and understanding, and being very empathetic to others' perspectives as well. This sort of awareness leads to enhancement of social skills and cooperation, which is included in the fourth competency, that is relationship skills. Now, once the child has learned from the first four competencies, he or she will be able to take better decisions, will be better equipped in problem solving, which is leading to the fifth competency, that is responsible decision making. So that is the brief framework of the curriculum. Now, each lesson that we have and the lessons included in each of these competencies start with an animated video so that the child is young and the child can understand better. Now, this animated video is followed by an age appropriate activity which includes music, puppetry, storytelling, coloring, drawing, and so on. For each lesson, there is also an experiential debriefing and home assessments so that whatever learned in class can be practiced by children and assessed by both parents and the facilitators. Now we'll just show you a sample module. This is a sample module. Here the main competency is self-regulation, and the lessons included are emotional regulation, which means managing one's emotions. Then there's growth mindset, which means paying more attention on efforts and growth. And the third lesson is adaptability, which works on child's adjustment skills and general adaptability. Now we have a video that we have used in one of the lessons to help children manage their emotions with various techniques. So we'll just show you the video.
I feel hot, I feel hot. What should I do? What should I do? Mama says wash your face with water cold as ice. Achoo! Achoo! I feel upset, I feel upset. What should I do? What should I do? Mama says jump, jump. Mama says jump as high as kangaroo, as kangaroo. I feel scared, I feel scared. What should I do? What should I do? Mama says breathe and count. Mama says breathe and count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel blue, I feel blue. What should I do? What should I do? Mama says curl your toes. Mama says curl your toes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow! I feel better. Thank you. I bet you can try it too.
So this is like one of the videos that we are using in one of the lessons of the curriculum. Over to you, Umama.
Thank you, Amna. Now I will brief you about the benefits of Emotion Shala curriculum and why you should go for Emotion Shala. So, Emotion Shala is entirely in context with the Indian culture, where we see the parent and child as one unit. Our lessons aim at enhancing this relationship by keeping our cultural values in mind. To enhance the understanding and learning, we have also included sessions for parents and caregivers, helping them learn tools and techniques to assist their young ones better. Emotion Shala includes multimodal learning, catering to all learning styles. We aim to make the learning process easy for all children, no matter what their learning style is, be it visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or reading writing. We have also included animated or audio-visual videos, music, dance and movement, drawing and coloring, and worksheet in each lesson. In addition to these classroom aids, we have also used games. Emotion Shala is a 6 months long curriculum with more than 15 lessons that are in sync with each other and of progressive nature. The 5 competencies on which curriculum is based will work on their understanding of emotions, managing of emotions, being empathetic and understanding others' perspective, and enhancing their social skills. With the curriculum, the child will also learn to make appropriate choices, problem solving abilities, and critical thinking, which help them perform better in academics. Also, recent research has shown an 11% increase in academic achievement of children who had undergone SCL program. So this is how we try to teach social emotional learning, not in bits and pieces, but in a congruent and harmonious manner. It is based on proven psychodevelopmental research. Each lesson, each activity, and each learning aid are constructed in accordance with biological and neuroscience research. The curriculum is appreciated by prominent international educators from the US, experienced psychologists, emotional intelligence coaches, and professors from well-known institutes of India like IIM. Emotion Chala's framework also fits well into the vision of National Education Policy 2020. Thus, the curriculum is sure to work on the holistic development of children and in enhancing their personalities. So if you have any queries or any questions, you can mail us to info.scl for kids or contact us on the given numbers. Thank you. Over to you, Amna.
Also, we are currently working on an asynchronous course specially designed for parents, which is based on EI-related parenting, which we will start in August. So for the same, you can register at the provided email address, or you can even WhatsApp us or text us or call us on the given numbers. Thank you.
Can I request the team members today, Somaji, who all are there, then Muskan, Ishan, Manasvi, to just switch on the cameras and for a moment before we stop the live proceedings. Thank you.